Hello, Internet. This is Alternative Press Managing Editor Scott Heisel, joined with the lovely four-fifths of United Nations. We are missing a member. Who are we missing today right now?
David, our drummer.
And where might he be?
That is a great question.
If you are at the fest and you're watching this, if you've seen David, describe what he looks like. What might he look like right now?
Oh my God.
Yeah, dirty,
Really long
dirty
hair.
Jesus.
If you see it, I've seen a couple of Dirty Jesus actually. It's kind of a new costume down here.
He's
So,
maybe wearing a glow stick around his neck. He's really into plur.
well, it's peace, love, unity, and respect. Yeah. All right. Why did I know that? That's terrible. So we are at the fest. It's day 3. My voice has come back. I'm pretty happy about that. And the United Nations, this is your first time playing the fest as UN, but some of you have been here before. Jonah specifically, I know your band, The Love Kills, played here a couple times. Pianos Become the Teeth, I believe, has also played here before. So coming as UN, for those of you who haven't played here, what have you told them about the experience of coming to fest? Like, what are some tips or pointers you've given to them?
Save yourself. It's a long weekend, and don't overdo it in the first couple days. So,
But the last couple days, just fucking go balls out.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like since we're playing 1 a.m. on Saturday night, nobody's going to be saving themselves for anything at that point. That's like go nuts central time, you know?
Now, do you have any pieces of pearls of wisdom from the early fest? I mean, you were at like Fest 3, which is at this point almost a decade ago.
It was just way smaller then. I felt like there were less venues, less bands. So to come down here like 7 years later and see it, it's really cool to see how it's grown. But it's like totally different.
It's actually 9 years later.
I was here for Fest 9 with a lot of dispute, and we did a warehouse show. So my tip would be bring more oil for the generator, because that shit did not last.
So Jeff's the only one here that hasn't ever been to fest before. So what's taking you so long?
I don't know.
All right. Well, that's a great. All right. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, well, that's massive commercial and artistic. Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, so talking about UN, you haven't put out new music in a couple years, but you're kind of getting more active now. You have a new rhythm section backing you up. Or rather, new members from Pianos Become the Teeth. Are there plans now to be creating more recorded music in 2014? That's a fancy way of saying where's the new record, basically. So.
Jeff, you want to take this one?
Yeah. We've recorded a bunch, and we have a few things released. We released a thing earlier this year, Illegal UN, that was on cassette, and it was an amazing thing where we were able to sell out of all of them really quickly, and then it never made its way to the internet. And so I'm pretty pumped about that. And we've got some other 7 inches that we've recorded, and we've been trying to release. It's always a battle with the United Nations lawsuit stuff. But it looks like in 2014 we'll be putting together a collection of all those. So we'll have a bunch of new music out we're thinking about maybe the spring. And we've been talking to a few labels, but we've pretty much decided on who's going to put it out. So we're all excited about it, and it's gonna tour some, and yeah, actually be a band for once, not just like pop up and play a show and disappear again for 4 years, you know.
Well, that's awesome, but I think it's funny that people sometimes might not think you're telling the truth about the whole like UN lawsuit stuff, but that is real. Like you have, been received papers, court documents. Can you talk about exactly what it is that you're still going through with that, and what's the resolution process with that, if there is one?
Yeah. I mean, it's the reason why the first record like blew up. I think it was like 11 million listens in the first week, and then disappeared because they took down all our social media. They had all the major chain record stores that carried it actually destroy the records, not even return them. So we have like pictures, because they have to prove that they destroyed them, so that the label's not like, well, where are they? So we have pictures of like crates and crates of UN records, like whole pallets of them being smashed. Really? And yeah, so it's pretty weird. And the reason that we've been able to kind of get away with playing when we want to is because we change members, and because we've never copyrighted any of the songs to any member. So it's really hard to say who made what and who is just like playing with it for a little while. So that's something that like has protected us, like the anonymity of the band, the changing nature of the band. So it's like, well, I was just doing that for a little while, and then it was these guys, and then it was these guys, and then it was these guys.
So we should say that these are not the actual members of UN. These are just guys we happen to meet. It's kind of a Jandek thing, where you're like the representative from Corwood Industries. You're not actually. No one watching this knows who the fuck Jandek is. But are you worried about that stuff? Obviously, you're in the public eye. People are aware of who you are. You tour for a living. It seems like at this point, doing solo acoustic stuff, doing this now. Are you worried that the hammer is going to come down on you at some point? That where it can't be, yeah, exactly.
A little. I mean, I think that's also what makes the band exciting to me is that like I don't feel like many bands take chances anymore. You know, it's like there's a lot of talk about being like punk and revolutionary and this and that, but like it also sort of it's awfully safe. Punk seems awfully safe to me now, so I like the idea of doing something a little that's actually a little dangerous. And
breaking news. We found, I believe it was described as Dirty Jesus.
Flirty Jesus.
Now, can you tell me what PLUR stands for?
Peace, love, unity, respect.
That's two of us who know that. That's pretty good. Can you tell me who Jandek is?
What's that?
Do you know who Jandek is?
No, who's that?
There you go. All right, see, we're doing the same thing. So, so we're talking about Fest earlier, and you've played Fest before. You played Fest last night, actually.
Yeah.
So, what did you give any advice to Jeff about what to prepare for Fest, like mentally, physically, liver wise? How did you kind of give him pointers or anything?
I cannot wait for this.
It's pretty chill. Like you just like have a relaxing day by the pool. You maybe have 1 or 2 drinks, and that's it. About it.
Is he telling the truth?
I don't know.
Not even close.
Couldn't be further.
1 or 2 drinks by the pool.
And then 25 by the bar.
So you're doing this this little mini tour down to Fest and back. You're playing with your other band, Pianos Become the Teeth. When you guys are doing 2 sets a night, do you have to approach that differently from a musical standpoint? Do you find yourself not playing the same way you might have played if you're just doing 1 show a night? Like, do you kind of change your movements or how you give yourself out there?
Like with pianos, for me personally, like I throw my whole body into it, and with United Nations is like blast beats, so it's like my forearms are just like bricks by the end of the show, and then it's rough. It's definitely rough.
I mean, I feel like in pianos, you it's hard. It's like I feel like playing with United Nations and pianos are just 2 different animals because the music is different. So it makes it even more fun, I believe, to like go and do 2 different things in one night and not be so like, all right, I played, I'm done, and like then you have something to look forward to that's completely different and just be a part of.
Have you had anyone in the crowd be like, "Oh man, you were so awesome on stage. United Nations were awesome, but that band before them was terrible"? Like, has anyone like accidentally insulted your other band?
Yeah.
Not on this tour? Has it happened on other tours?
Yeah, we did a tour with Coheed and Cambria, and we actually played at Florida Theater here. But there was one night where some dude like came up to Mike and was like, "You guys are really good, but that first band, man, they sucked." He was like, "Yeah, I'm in the first band." Oh shit, sorry, man.
Did he buy you a beer at that point?
Nah,
That's some bullshit.
he was like, "I'll take a listen. I'll check you guys on YouTube or whatever."
It's like you're not gonna like it still. You're still not gonna like it, you know.
Well, you said that was here in Florida, so maybe he'll be here tonight. He could try to,
That was here. I think that was somewhere else, but.
It might have been here. I don't know.
Well, if you're watching, Guy, what do you look like? Can you describe him?
I don't know.
Were you looking in the mirror? Were you just talking to yourself? Was this like an
The
intervention?
guy who had 25 drinks by the bar.
So you said looking at 2014, you're looking at having a collection of work come out of the small run 7s and stuff like that. What else can we look forward to in 2014 in United Nations? You said you're looking at doing more heavy touring. Do you have things lined up that you can talk about right now?
Nothing concrete. We're just kind of looking at spring. We have a few friends bands who have asked us out, but things always change. So we'll either go out like opening for a friend's band, or we'll put something together ourselves and do that.
Now, in your mind, what do you think is kind of the best match for UN to be opening for? Like, what are some bands that you think you would be really good stylistically alongside?
Yeah, I think like for UN, it's like the more different, the better, kind of. So, whether it's like something sort of more atmospheric and different like that, like there's bands like, I don't know if you know the band Weekend on Slumberland, stuff like that. Like I feel like even pop bands would be just like a cool, strange mix, just because like the whole UN thing is almost part art project, part like super heavy band, and so I feel like if you just approach it like another heavy band that would be here playing like the heavy showcase, then it's just a little more boring than it could be. You know what I mean? And I don't think like UN is looking to be like Pit Commander or anything. So it's kind of like losing a few fans that might like us isn't a big deal.
We're going up the rest of this East Coast with this guy B. Dolan and Circle Takes a Square, which is a pretty eclectic tour because he's a rapper, and then Circle, they're amazing. So going up that, like even that's just going to be super eclectic and bizarre. So
Circle's a great match for us too. Like I think like sort of a little bit of an older band that like has always skewed like a little strange, you know what I mean, and has like taken 8 years between records because they're not concerned about their career. They just want to make something they love. Like I have a lot of respect for that, and that's something that I feel like UN is more like spiritually connected to.
It seems like when the project of UN first kind of got announced, it was billed frequently as Jeff from Thursday and Daryl from Glassjaw. And even though it's quite obvious there is no member here that it happens to be Daryl Palumbo, and he is not. Oh!
One of our shows, someone came up to me and was like, "I'm such a big fan of yours," and I was like, "Really?" And I thought he meant like writing or music, and I was like, "Oh, he's like, I love your lyrics for Glassjaw. They're so great." And I was like, "Oh, this guy thinks I'm Daryl." And then I was like going along with it. And it's like, "Can I get a picture?" And I was like, "I'm not who you think I am."
I really wish I had enough talent in iMovie to like stop this and put up like a split screen and put Daryl Palumbo, because you guys could not be farther apart. But so I was saying, is it funny that still kind of dogs you at this point, that people are like, "Oh yeah, it's Daryl from Glassjaw's side project"? Like, do you even though he's never played a show with you guys, as far as I know, right? So.
I mean, I think there's a lot of open door policy in UN. Like, we've had a lot of members and a lot of different people play with us. And Daryl was, like, real instrumental in starting the band with me and playing even on the first record. And so it's like whenever he wants to, he can come and jump up on stage with us. You know what I mean? But he's even busier than any of us are. So it's actually not weird. Like, when people are just like, "Where's Daryl?" It's like, "Oh, he's somewhere making music." I don't know.
Well, so with that said, that there is an open door policy in UN, who is the person you'd like to have join your band at some point? Who's like that dream collaborator you'd like to work with?
Like, for me, it's just like Dave Bazan in everything, but I don't know how it would sound with this project.
I could see it work though. It's like it's kind of like the peanut butter and banana. You think it wouldn't work, but then it works really fucking well. Yeah. So
I think for me, it's really strange to think of anyone else being in this band at this point because this unit feels so amazing as it is. So like. Dream people, I'm surrounded by him, for me.
That means he's getting kicked out next week, isn't he? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, I'm really working on not getting kicked out. Love you guys, right? We love each other, right?
All of us are like, "Oh man, this again." No, yeah, no, I think like at this point right now, like this is definitely what it is, and anything additional would be like coming in to like work with us on stuff. But like dream for me would be somebody like Philip Glass or William Basinski, somebody that's like completely different thing. They would push the band in a totally different area. Like we make like a whole record of drones or something like that. That I'd be super into. You know what I mean? That'd be something new and interesting for me. Like it'd be a little less interesting if it was like, oh, like all the guys from Orchid or Reversal Man are coming in. It's like, okay, well that's what we're ripping off. So I guess it's cool that they're coming to make it legit, or whatever. But no, I think like, somebody like that, like somebody classical or just interesting mathematical musician would, dip low, so that we could get some like popping,
I wasn't going to ask about your feelings on twerking, but now you brought it up. No, so basically you're saying you want Jason Pettigrew to join your band and make it as unlistenable as possible. So
absolutely, that would be incredible.
If you're watching, Jason, I sure hope you are, because you work for this company that I also work for, UN.
Scott Heisel thing.
right by.
Watching this.
All right, well, that is it for us right here at the Fest 12, 9 fests after the Fest 3, just to work on we're working on the math here. Jonah's not the,
Is it a year skipped or something? Isn't it even like more than, I don't know.
I think the first one was like May, and then the next one was like November of the following year. So I think that's what kind of happened there. So there's some fuzzy math, but that's okay. We have bands celebrating 25-year anniversaries where they take 10 years off because they broke up. That doesn't count either, but It's rock and roll, so who gives it?
We've been around for 20 years. We had 10 years off. No, you were around for 11 years then.
This is the shit that keeps me as a shitty rock critic up at night. Like, how can you say you had a 30-year anniversary when you were broken up for 12 of those years? It's bullshit. Anyway, signing off from the Fest 12 here with UN. I'm Scott. Follow them on Twitter. Is there a Twitter for UN? It is
the official UN.
The official UN, which is probably actually not the official UN, but whatever, don't sue them. So, all right.
Say which one came first. I don't know.
Valid point. All right. We'll see you guys later.